the things is that I was doing a call last night. So shout out Real Jabril for his group, the 100K a month group. And what I've been going over with people is cash flow. Like I think most wealth is lost by how people manage cash flow. And so, y'all, if you follow me, you know that, we teach how to be the bank, infinite banking. But I think that, so the way I actually teach it though is because people think like, which is, let me just back up. It's properly structured dividend paying whole life with a mutual company, just to be clear. So we don't use universal life. If somebody says they use universal life and they teach people to be the bank, they've totally lost me because they don't understand the concept and they're going against the founders' wishes because they think they know better and they don't. Right. So anyway, so I'm gonna step on some toes, but I actually think that's step two. So the framework that we teach is um, that principles based planning. So principles actually drive strategy. IBC is a strategy, and strategy drives tactics. Okay, the product, the life insurance, if you don't know what it is, properly structured dividend paying whole life. That's the tactic. That's last, actually. Okay. And so, what are the principles? So, I'll hit them real quick of what we teach, just so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. So, principle one, save 15% of your gross income. Gross income. Let me define savings: safe, liquid, accessible, guaranteed. All right. Um, Protect. Most people, so we mostly work with real estate investors, small business owners, and a lot of y'all are, you know, I always say this: typical financial advice, buy and hold, dollar cost average, get out of debt, buy term investor difference. That's if you're trying to be financially independent, that is literally toxic. You have to do the complete opposite. Institutions literally do the complete opposite with their money. Okay. And so we call this the accumulation theory. You have to get into velocity. Velocity is an economic principle, but the key is that you're focusing on cash flow. You're not trying to build for retirement or build a nest egg. Okay. Because you there's so many reasons why that don't work. I'll do a whole show on that, but that's not going to work. One, because you're accumulating, so you're saving dollars, but the longer you hold them, the less they buy, right? Because you're saving debt. The dollar is the Federal Reserve note is debt, so you have to understand. Then you're trying to use a fluctuating market, the stock market, that you have no control over, saving depreciating monetary units, and then so that means you need more of them. So now you're putting it into a qualified plans that you're just deferring, or a better word is postponing taxes. And you got to ask yourself, so if you need more money to pull out and you got to pull money out of a qualified plan, it comes out as ordinary income, you're going to pay more taxes. Okay, taxes ain't going to go down. Okay, and the government, you got to ask yourself, will the government need more money or less to to meet their promises, basically. Okay, so this is, you got to have a little bit of introspection. So the question I got asked innocently last night, and I've been thinking about, is, well, where do you start all this stuff? Because people have messed up for um that have no savings. Most people I see are way too illiquid, you know. And so we talk about save, protect, maximum protection, your insurances, your protecting your stuff, right? Protecting your life, protecting your income, says disability, life insurance, building generational wealth, wills, trust. Okay, but there's an order to those. People call me, oh, I want to trust. And I look at their situation, they ain't ready to do a trust yet. They don't have no money. Even if you have money, there's still an order to this stuff. Okay, so don't get your financial planning from sound bites on TikTok or IG. All right, call somebody and call me. All right, but which you can go to my link tree and schedule a complimentary consultation. But here's the thing. All right, so where do I start? And I had to think about that. So I had to think about it for a minute, and I was like, where do we start? And so I think that you start with. There was a book, I don't know if I read it or heard of it. It says, make your bed, right? You want to have, organization in your day. You start out by making your bed. Okay. So, when I talk about principles, principle three is, what is principle three? So let me give you the 50,000 foot view. Principle three is, um, full replacement of assets at death. And so, what I'm talking about when I go through that principle with people is the myth of self insurance. You know, there's people that talk about buy term investor difference, and when you have enough money, you don't need insurance anymore. That is complete bullshit. That is nonsense. Okay, of it this way: if you had a house, and I can show you mathematically why it's bullshit, but let's just conceptually say, look, if you had your house and you had it paid off, would you drop your homeowner's insurance? Most rational people would say no. Well, let's look at it. Let's say your house was $500,000. You had $500,000 in the house fund. Would you pay off your homeowner's insurance? I mean, would you drop your homeowner's insurance? No, because if you have the insurance, you've transferred risk, right? What's the purpose of insurance? To indemnify you, to make you whole. So if you transfer that risk to them for $1,000 a year, $1,500 a year monthly premium, doesn't that free up your $500,000? Well, it works the same way in life insurance. You give yourself permission to spend your money. The fourth principle is liquidity. You want 6 to 12 months in cash. So y'all are afraid to hold cash. And so what'll happen is, and the fifth principle is velocity, right? Which is you know, uh making money, making cash flow. So a lot of people are focused on capital in what I call investing for capital gains. You're buying low and they're trying to do this thing. And so those are the five principles. And then we teach the three rules of investing. Invest in what you know, invest in what you can control, don't chase returns. Okay? Don't chase returns. Most people are chasing returns because they feel like they got to hit a home run. And so they think, well, what can I invest in? Curtis, where can I put my money? Do you have 90 days of money saved, liquid? Do you have 6 to 12 months of capital? So, because to me, your emergency fund is 3 months, right? Everything above that is your opportunity fund. Should you work on getting business credit? Should you work on improving your credit so you can get access to other people's money? Yes, you should. Okay. But not, you have to still have some money. See, we teach our clients, you want to borrow. We talk about being a bank. We say, look, you can be a customer of the bank or you can be the bank. Okay. And you want to do both. You want to work at being the bank, because if you look at your bank, or what we teach, the policy as a system of money management, then you want to control, because 35 cents of every dollar that you earn leaves your household in the form of debt to others. So you want to get control of your money. Now, let's go back to where I started, right? What do I do, Curtis? Okay. And so we're just working along this thought process. So I says, well, save. Okay. And it's right out of The Richest Man in Babylon. That's the start. Part of all you earn. I said, so she read Richest Man in Babylon. I said, well, what's the first lesson? Couldn't think of it. That means you ain't read it. You don't understand it. You don't live it. Okay. And so, you have to burn. This is what we do with people. You have to like burn this across your forehead. Okay. Stamp this on your forehead, write it down all over the place. Part of all I earn is mine to keep. That's the start. So shout out, go get the download of Richest Man in Babylon. Actually, we're going to work on a mini course on that, putting it to contemporary language. So I'll post that and let you know when it's done. But part of all you earn is yours to keep. That's a philosophy. Jim Rohn would say, most people don't have a money problem. They have a philosophy problem. Okay. Your philosophy, you think that everybody else should get paid before you get paid. Okay. Well, Curtis, you don't understand. I can't save. I've got all these bills. I had to fight with a client a couple of weeks, not fight, but because what Myron Golden, shout out Myron Golden, says, if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. Okay. And they're like, well, you don't understand. I got these bills. I got da. I hear you. But guess what? You will always have bills. but you have to pay yourself first. You've got to feed your asset column. And Rich Dad Poor Dad, lesson 3 is mind your own business. Your business is your asset column. So the start is there. It's first is mental. Part of all I earn is mine is to keep. And then now let's go tactical with it. So you got to pay yourself first. What should you pay yourself? Well, we teach 15% or more, right? 15% of every check of your gross income. So let's say, for example, let's do some math. And let's say you make, this is what the math I did for them last night. So let's say you make $75,000 a year, okay? Times 15% is $11,250 a year. So that's your target, right? It's hard to reach a target you don't have, okay? So now, let's say you still work a job. If you're hearing me, if you let's do this job first. So let's divide that by 26. That's $432 a pay. Can you do that? What can you do? I don't care what you start with. All I know is you need to start, okay? And so what happens is, out of that $432, you create a separate account, separate from your bill money. So we teach a cash flow, intentional cash flow strategy where we teach people to have 4 accounts, that's a whole program that we have, take the mystery out of money. And but let's just start with the easy one. Here's what you can implement. You can take a separate account, use account you already have. It's just a checking account because it ain't going to stay there. It's just a holding tank, okay? Because see, you've got to make savings shouldn't be a willpower thing. It's got to be automatic and systematic, just like you do with your 401k. But except for 401k is not saving, it's investing. So if you're doing that and you're a financial rebel, what's up? Okay. And what you want to be able to do is pay yourself first. You got to pay yourself, but you have to automate that. So you create a wealth coordination account. So now that's step 1. So before we get into being the bank and permanent insurance, no, I just want to see if I can exercise your pay yourself first muscles. And let's see if you can do that. And so if you do it out of every check, you'll be, if you don't do anything else, or you never talk to me, if you do this will change your life. Because what will happen is now you'll have, because what's the result of that? Peace of mind, more financial stability. You'll recognize that, okay, I can live on 85% of my income. You can give, and it's just a matter of you making decisions. So you have to whip Parkinson's law. What is Parkinson's law? You say Parkinson's law says, Northcliffe Parkinson says that your expenses will rise to meet your income. So for those of y'all think I gotta flip real estate, I gotta invest my way, I gotta trade my way to financial freedom, I gotta buy more real estate. Guess what? If you make more money, but you haven't whipped Parkinson's law, you're gonna buy a bigger house, a bigger car, you're gonna buy nicer stuff, and you're still gonna be broke. You're just gonna be broke at a higher level. And so the first thing is make a decision that I'm going to save my money. Then you've got to sit down and draw out. This is work, right? You gotta say, look, this is kind of what we help people with, is you gotta say, look, here's what's coming in, here's what's going out. That's where you start, right? And can you make sure that you're adding to your surplus every month? Because here's what I told her. So that's, you start there, right? You work on your attitude. Are you reading 10, 12 pages a day? Are you learning, because here are the 7 cures for a lean person, the richest man in Babylon. Start your purse to fattening. Pay yourself first, right? Budget thy expenses, manage cash flow, make your goal multiply. Now you're getting into velocity. So what is velocity? So you've got money. You can do little deals. You can do little hustles. We had a client just borrow against one of their policies. And what did they do? They called me and said, Curtis, I just bought we do like a coaching call for our clients every Saturday. So we talked about, I just say, look, what are 10 things y'all could do to make money? Because I'm trying to get people, y'all don't think about making money. I always think about making money, more money, right? Because my driving goal is not the money. Money buys you freedom. And in our system, we call it getting to a position of FU, okay? And which is passive income, twice your expenses. So we want to get you to FU in a decade or less. All right, depending on how hard you work, no promises. And because mostly, investing is about becoming. And so you're all looking for stuff to throw your money at, but you're not willing to become. That's why. Okay. And so, that's where you get started. And the last thing I'll say for this morning is get a guide, get a coach. That's why I say, you see on the screen here, if you're watching it on YouTube, Money for Life guide, right? And so I'm your financial Sherpa, right? So I'm gonna guide you up the mountain. You still got to go. So I'm for my Star Wars fans, right? I'm Yoda, okay, and you're Luke. So now you know the ways of the Force. You're Force sensitive. Now you know the Force exists, but you still have to go through the trials to become a Jedi. And so I'm guiding you to be a Jedi with your money, a master, if you will, of your money. Okay, because those are skills that you have to have. You have to become master of the money. You have got to be master of your emotions. You got to become emotionally. You've got to be financially literate, which is the ability to manage cash flow. And so the transformation to becoming a Jedi with your money is, we at Practical Wealth, I want to take you from financial dependence to financial independence, right? What is financial dependence, or what I call economic childhood? Economic childhood, you're dependent on a paycheck, right? You're dependent on somebody giving you a paycheck. And so that hurts a lot of y'all. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with having a job. What Jim Rohn says, wages make you a living, profits make you a fortune. But you one job is like, to me, one is the worst word in business. So if you've got one job, that's like having one client. If you're a consultant, and you can get fired for one or two reasons, any reason or no reason at all. I've got a client that has four jobs. Well, see, the problem is, Myron Golden says, that's, you're doing the work. Implementation is the lowest level of value. So because there's only 168 hours in a week, and so it's only so much you can work. So you're going to reach your limit, because it's physically, you can't get but so much done by yourself. Okay, so you have to work through that. So see, a lot of it, of how you get started, is you have to change your mindset. You have to work on that. You got to get around different people, which is, she was on this call every week. So hopefully that's helping. And then what I try to do is give you tactics to, implement that. You need a somebody that will follow up with you and hold you accountable. And then, at the end of the year, this is kind of what we do for our people. Another great book is 10X is Easier than 2X with Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy. But what I had to remind myself, and I do it when we do our planning, our principles-based plan for people, is all progress is measured backwards. So you set goals of what you want, but what you do at the end of the quarter, let's say I don't like long-term goals, I like short-term goals, you can say, okay, where was I and where am I at now? And then you look at that and you celebrate your wins. Okay. So that's it. It's pay yourself first. You know, it's eliminate transfers of your wealth. I'm gonna do a whole other talk on transfers, but most of us give most of our money away by how we manage cash flow, how we pay our mortgages, taxes, how we fund retirement plans, how we pay for kids' educational expenses, and how we pay for major capital purchases. So there's more money lost in those six things than you'll ever make trying to pick winning investments. So what do? Figure out what you want, because most people don't even know what you want. You're just working, you're on autopilot. Figure out where you want to go. Now you got to figure out, because when you do a GPS, what's it say? Where your location and your destination. Where do you want to go? And then now getting from point A to point B is your map. And I would argue you need a map. So if you'd like to hear more about that, hey, go if you're on listen to this on IG, go to our link tree, go to practicalwealth.net and say, hey, Curtis, I'd love to talk about this. I need a plan. I'm making a lot of money. I'm making 200,000, but I'm spending 210. Okay, I'm making. I just don't know where all my money goes. So if you say that kind of stuff, we need to do an intervention because you're bleeding out, and I need to throw you on an operating table and plug the holes in your personal economy. All right. So hey, guys, have a great day. Hope this helps somebody out there, and we will talk to you soon.